welcome to the 186th District Court. Court is in session. This is cause number 2019 CR 4550, State of Texas versus Anthony Ciaretta Jr. We're here today for a plea. We're conducting this hearing via video conference using the Zoom application. We're also using YouTube to live stream the proceedings to keep the hearing public. The time now is 10:30 a.m. on the 4th day of August 2021. These proceedings are official. They're on the record, and they're being recorded by the official court reporter. Counsel and all present are instructed to act as though you were in court, and all are instructed not to record the proceedings. If we could have the attorneys make appearances, starting with the state of Texas, please.
Lindsay Shaw for the state.
James Seelaw for the defense.
Sir, you the same Anthony Ciaretta, charged by indictment with failure to stop and render aid. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
And then my understanding is your name, your last name has 2 R's in it instead of 1. Is that right?
Yes, sir. 2 R's and 2 T's.
All right. Well, this is not a amendment of the indictment, but the Code of Criminal Procedure authorizes me to mark the indictment with the proper spelling of the name, which I've done right now. And I put my initials next to it, today's date, where I've put 2 R's and 2 T's on your last name.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I'll clear that up. All right. So, Mr. Ciaretta, I'm going to use a function of Zoom called share screen. I'm going to show you the indictment in this case. This is your name up here. This is the offense. This has the word indictment. It has back from August 22nd of 2018. Are you familiar with this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Mr. Seeloff, do we waive reading of the indictment?
We waive.
I'm going to get out of share screen. I'll note that there is a discovery acknowledgement that's been signed and dated by both sides. I'm doing the same. I'm making it a part of the record. And then I'll also note that there is an application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. We'll make that a part of the record as well. Mr. Ciaretta, we're going to go back into share screen. I'm going to show you a document. It's called the Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, and I'll scroll down to electronic signature. Then I'm now using my cursor to circle around. Is this your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
By signing this, you're telling me 2 things. One, you understand that normally we do pleas like this live in an open court, but that you are consenting to do this plea by video conference. Did you understand that when you signed this?
Yes, I did.
Secondly, your electronic signature here, as well as all of the other electronic signatures of yours in the plea packet in front of me today, you're telling me that those are valid as if you personally signed those documents. Did you understand that when you signed this?
Yes, I did.
I approve the consent. I make it a part of the record. We're still on share screen. I'm now showing you a document called the Court's Admonishments. It's several pages, so I'll go ahead and scroll through for you. But are you familiar with this document?
Yes, I am.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Bottom of page 3 is electronic signature. Is this yours?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get out of share screen. By signing the Court's admonishments, you're telling me that you understand the Court's admonishments and that you understand the rights are contained within it. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And that you want to give up those rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And the rights you're giving up is you have the right to a trial by jury. You have a right to confront the witnesses against you. You also have the right to remain silent, which includes the right not to incriminate yourself and not plead today. Did you understand that before you signed this?
Yes, I did.
By signing this, you're also telling me you understand the consequences of the plea and the sentencing range for the offense, which we need to discuss just for a minute. On the Court's admonishments, normally the sentencing ranges are provided. This one has one. It's incorrect on the Court's admonishments. I'll explain that. We're using Adobe Sign in order to do these hearings via Zoom, and Adobe Sign does not have the correct sentencing range as a drop-down menu for the state to put on there. And so where we normally put the degree of felony, we have F for felony, and then we have an asterisk because there really isn't, it's more or less a 3rd degree in some regards, but the punishment is actually listed in the Texas Transportation Code and not in the Texas Penal Code. And so the range of punishment is actually from 0 to 5 in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I should say 0 to 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, or Alternatively, it could be 0 to 1 year in the local county jail, and then the fine can be up to a $5,000 fine. On our court's admonishments, we really just have the Class B range was written on there because there isn't a range. There's no way on Adobe sign to put no range on there. So we use the misdemeanor range there. I'll correct it when I get the actual paperwork in physical form instead of electronic form to show that I'm telling you that the punishment range is up to 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice or up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $5,000 fine. But the question for you, Mr. Ciaretta, is did you understand the proper range before you signed the court's admonishments?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you've applied for deferred adjudication. There are risks and benefits associated with that. The benefits are if it's granted, then you will not be found guilty of the offense listed on your indictment. Instead, you'll be placed on community supervision, which if you're successful with that, the case is dismissed. If you're not successful, it could be revoked. And if you are revoked, then you would be subject to the full sentencing range that I just announced. Did you understand that before you applied for deferred adjudication?
Yes, sir.
And do you still wish to apply?
Yes, sir.
I approve the waivers that are contained within the court's admonishments. I make them a part of the record. Sir, we are going to go back into share screen. I'm going to show you the plea bargain in this case. And are you familiar with this document?
Yes.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
There's an electronic signature to the left. I'm using my cursor to circle around. There's another one to the right. I'm using my cursor to circle around. Are these your two signatures?
Yes, sir.
This document details for me your agreement with the state as far as punishment is concerned. I will let you know if I'm going to follow this prior to the entry of your plea. Says that punishment will be assessed with a $1,500 fine. State is recommending deferred adjudication. You will have no contact with the complaining witness in this case. Your signature to the left waives your appeal outside of the agreement, but the recommendations are you be placed on community supervision for 2 years, have a drug and alcohol treatment evaluation, perform community service hours, and take a driving safety course. Is that your understanding of the agreement, sir?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, is that your understanding as well?
That is my understanding, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'm going to get out of share screen. Mr. Ciaretta, I'm not bound by a plea bargain. I do not have to follow this. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
But if I do follow the plea bargain, then you lose your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And that's true unless I grant you permission to appeal or unless certain motions are filed and ruled upon. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, any such rulings in this case?
No, sir.
If I do not follow the plea bargain, then I'll allow you to withdraw the plea and will proceed to trial as if this hearing never occurred. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I'll note again that one of your signatures on your plea bargain waives your appeal. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
If not, then a plea of guilty, no contest to the offense would have serious adverse effects on your immigration status. And I'll note that you certified on the court's admonishments that you are an American citizen. Counsel, do you believe that your client has a factual or rational understanding of the charge pending against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's been able to assist you in the defense?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he's mentally competent to waive rights and enter a plea here today?
I believe he is.
Sir, the offense that's listed on your indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other purpose as to why you're pleading guilty?
No, sir.
Other than the plea bargain, did anyone promise you anything in exchange for your plea today?
No, sir.
Anyone force you or coerce you to plead today?
No, sir.
After going over this case with your attorney, do you believe that pleading here today is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
Does the state have anything to offer to support this plea?
State offer States Exhibit 1 and attachments.
No objection.
It's admitted. I reviewed State's Exhibit 1 and attachments prior to getting on the record and find that it is sufficient to support the plea. Sir, I find that your plea was freely, intelligently, and voluntarily made, that there was sufficient evidence to support the plea, and that you're mentally competent to enter into such a plea. Mr. Seeloff, do we waive the pre-sentence investigation report?
Yes, we do. I just want to reiterate that there is no restitution in this case. His insurance covered the accident.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Is there any legal reason as to why your client cannot be sentenced today?
No, there is not.
There being no legal reason, in accordance to the agreement with the state, sir, I'm going to defer any finding of guilt at this time and place you on community supervision for a period of 2 years. There is a $1,500 fine. You will have no contact with the complaining witness, Tracy Burke. You'll have a TAP evaluation. You must follow recommendations. I'll give you 150 community service hours. You'll take a driving safety course. And then I'm going to order that you have 30 days to verify employment. Sir, there's a plea bargain case. I followed the plea bargain. So you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You do not have the right to appeal. I'm also noting you waived your appeal in the plea bargain agreement. I'm making a certification of this for the record. I'll provide a copy of the certification to your attorney to provide to you. Sir, we're about ready to conclude the hearing. And when we do, you need to stay on Zoom because you're going to meet up with our court liaison officer to go over your conditions of community supervision. Is there anything else from either side in regards to the plea or to the sentencing?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Judge.
All right, this matter is now